Let's call the meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded. Seeing nobody else recording this meeting, if you'd please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. We have some special recognitions for you this evening, so I will turn it over to Dr. Brunel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, continuing with our theme of highlighting the artwork of some of our incredibly talented students, just wanted to bring to your attention that several of them had won awards at the Boston Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. So as noted here, with their names listed, as well as the artwork that they have displayed, really indicative of tremendous work and talent that they have. So just in recognition that Bridget Campbell earned 2 honorable mentions, Rebecca Chamberlain earned an honorable mention, a gold key went to Lindsay Gauthier, and a gold key also went to Obi Amaka Iguan Iju. So the artwork is there for display, and the award ceremony will be held on March 17th for the gold key winning students at the Cohen Auditorium at Tufts. So congratulations to all of them.
Yes. Any comments, questions?
Just congratulations.
I'll just reiterate what I always say, and it's that it's great to see not only that we always achieve academically and athletically, but musically and in the arts. It's just fantastic that we're so well-rounded as a district, and congratulations to all of those young artists. And I would now, no citizens' comments, so we will go with the student representatives report. Ryan, are you ready?
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So since the last time I reported, a lot has been happening around the school. First off, trimester 2, as well as winter sports have begun to wind down. All the winter sports have fought very valiantly, with the boys basketball team winning against Quabbin the last week, beating the first seed, and they got their playoff berth because of that. They lost to Oxford, sadly, Monday night. And right now, the boys' ice hockey team is in their district's game. We the People, they had won second place at their conference, but they had actually won the Massachusetts wildcard spot, which has given them the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. in the upcoming months. MAF team had their final competition today, and we finished 3rd in our division. The school celebrated the Winter Carnival throughout the week before winter vacation with several spirit days, and closed it off with the Winter Carnival Assembly. We also had been hosting Chinese exchange students for the past week. It was a very amazing cultural opportunity to learn from them. Last week also, AP Gov and Model UN had a field trip to the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for a mock Senate session. That was an amazing day. The art club and the French classes had a field trip yesterday, which I believe was to an art museum. Mm-hmm. I've heard very good things about it. And upcoming, Model UN is having a conference this weekend, and Mr. Auburn is tomorrow night.
Wow, there's a lot going on in
Yes.
high school. That's excellent. Can you just give us a little sampling of what happens during Carnival, Winter Carnival week?
Yes, so...
Don't be too graphic, or if anything really bad happened, we don't need to know, but share some of the excitement with us.
So, first off, throughout the entire week, we have Spirit Days, some of which were Auburn Day, Growtfit Day, I believe, and America Day. Also, throughout the entire Winter Carnival, they have what they call Minute to Win It Student Council. They have Minute to Win It games, which the students come down during activity and play as a class against the other classes in small competitions. And then the big event is the volleyball competition. The grades compete against each other, and then the winner of the grades gets to play against the teachers. The junior class won the entire competition and ended up winning the Winter Carnival.
Did they beat the teachers?
They beat the teachers, yeah.
Wow.
It was a hard-fought game, but the students won 15-13, I believe.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
To beat your teachers There's so many other ways we can win. Well, thank you for that report. Anyone have any other comments or questions for Ryan?
Thank you for the update.
Yeah,
I think
that
we're
was great.
fortunate to have student reps, actually, 'cause
Yes.
get a great insight of what goes on.
Great.
Absolutely.
Especially ones that talk and come out and say things, whether they're good or bad.
No, that was
Thanks.
great, Ryan.
Thank
And
you.
don't feel like you have to stick around all night. You're welcome to, but,
I don't have much homework, so I'm going to stick around.
oh, awesome.
Ah.
Well, it'll be great having you. All right. I would now seek approval of our executive session minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve and release the above-named executive session minutes. Do I need to list them?
Second?
I don't
Oh.
think you need to list them, do you? No. Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on these?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote. And for approval, is this a separate
Yes.
item for approval? Approval only,
Yes.
okay. I would seek approval of March 6th, June 5th, 2016. All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the above-named executive session minutes.
do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion on these?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 It is a vote. Thank you. And we now move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So wanted to provide for you an update. Just as was the case last year, Auburn Middle School has been awarded a Clean Energy Activity Day grant. This is in the amount of $8,000. If you remember last year, they had different events. Unfortunately, the weather did not cooperate that day. They were trying to cook a hot dog outside, so they did improvise. They had lots of great activities. They had students doing lots of things. So did want to also give credit to both Nicholas Hunter and Nicholas Palumbo, both of whom were student leaders in spearheading this. So it should be an excellent day. The date has not yet been set, but we certainly hope for good weather when it does come. The next item I wanted to share with you, just to keep you apprised as we monitor the projected enrollment, we did have kindergarten registration that took place on February 7th for both Packagug and Bryn Mawr School. So these numbers, could fluctuate, but starting at a steady pace. And if what happens in the past, we continue to receive students, sometimes students leave us, but I'll continue to keep you apprised. But right now, we seem to be in good shape. As part of next year's budget, we have added a fourth grade teacher to make sure that we are below the 25 students per class. So we'll continue to monitor these, and if there are other big changes, we'll let you know. In terms of the Chamber of Commerce, we have one of our monthly meetings taking place tomorrow, but at our most recent one, they shared with us that at their 50-50 raffles that they hold at each of their monthly meetings, they collect whatever portion of the funds that they save. They then divide up between the schools to include Bay Path. So it is my recommendation that you accept with gratitude the donation of $57.57 to each school from the Auburn Chamber.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to accept with gratitude the donation of $57.57 to each school from the Auburn Chamber of Commerce's 50-50 raffle.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's a vote.
Also, Mrs. Stanek included a letter of thanks to the Webster First Federal Credit Union donation through the Chamber's Wish List program. They donated all sorts of items to enrich the students' time at school. So it is my recommendation that you accept that donation.
I would entertain that motion.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to accept the donation of wish list items from Webster First Federal Credit Union.
For a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
As reported at our most recent meeting on the 13th of February, Mr. Gagnon is retiring from Auburn Middle School after serving for 9 years. So we are in the process of assembling a team to first review through applications. We have numerous applications, just about 30 of them that we've received. and then to actually pare those down and invite in individuals for interviews. So I would open it up to you. Typically, what we've done is included a school committee member on the team, so if you have interest in doing so, we would welcome your involvement.
I would be interested in being on that team.
I would as well as a backup, but I mean, if you prefer, I mean, only because, you know, we all have kids. I think all three of us have kids and they're going to be there, so.
So I'll make a motion that we appoint George Scobie to the search committee, principal search committee.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can you have two people on it? I know Dot had expressed interest too, so just didn't know.
Okay, all right.
Through the chair, we could certainly have two. We've typically had one, but I think we just don't want to go over two because then you get into a
Sure.
quorum situation, but that's the decision of the committee.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I just.
What do you want to do? It's up to you.
Yeah,
You wanna do it or not?
Sure, I'll do it. But if the room's too crowded, it's really not a big deal. So,
We can work.
I'm okay with that, so
I'll make a motion for both of them then.
we have a motion for both Dot and
Yeah.
Second.
I. Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote.
Great, thank you. And then I wanted to share with you, as similar to last year, the Quality Counts report that Education Week put out, that Massachusetts once again came out at the top of the list. And I think that's something in which we should all take great pride, because Auburn's successes in our hard work is similar to that which occurs across the Commonwealth, and indicative of it scoring in the top spot across the nation. So just wanted you to be aware of that.
That's great. Any comments? Before we move on to unfinished business, Wayne reminded me that I need to seek approval of the regular meeting minutes of February 13th. Would entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
There's a
abstain.
vote. And now we move on to unfinished business.
So last night we had, with Mrs. Harrington and Mr. Scobie, another meeting of our Special Education Stabilization Fund Policies Group. I think, and obviously, Mr. Scobie and Mrs. Harrington, feel free to weigh in. I think it was another productive meeting. I think that we left with an understanding that we are very close on the 1 yard line, I would say, with the policy. We're just doing some wordsmithing on it, and hopefully we'll be ready to bring something forward to you in March.
I would agree with that, and I would just like to add that whenever we get together, whether it's with this group or any other groups when it comes to finances or ways that we can help one another out in the town, we just feel very much supported, and especially so in that room last night, and what I think may have been our final meeting for the stabilization fund. I just think that everyone around that table was so supportive of what we're doing, and not only that, but they even reiterated that they're supportive of not just that fund, but everything that we do, and I appreciate that. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
In terms of the FY19 budget, this is really on here in case any changes arise, and right now there are no changes to report. We are tentatively scheduled to present the budget to the Finance Committee on March 14th, and we will keep you apprised next week if anything changes with that. The Citizens Leadership Academy that Ms. Jacobson, Town Manager, has put together with Mr. Kazanovich, I learned last evening they were originally planning to have 12 people, but they had interest from 17 citizens from across Auburn. So they are going to accommodate them. Some people will need to drive. They will be using our mini bus to transport 12 of the people around to the different ones. And we're working on our presentation that will take place on April 12th, starting at the middle school and finishing at Auburn High. So we are appreciative of being part of this and look forward to answering questions for the 17 citizens who participate.
Great. And we now move on to new business.
So wanted to share with you, as included in the packet, that we had been made aware from other districts that they had been hearing from the Office of Civil Rights the U.S. Department of Civil Rights through the Education Department, concerns regarding websites and its inability or its challenge for individuals with disabilities to be able to fully access them. And one of the primary issues is the posting of PDFs, which we regularly do. So they pointed out here a couple of the concerns. We held a phone call with the gentleman, Mr. Tabor, about this, and who was quite reasonable. And the idea is, we shared with him that we were already in the process and had been prior to this in looking at new websites that we had reported to you, along with our student information system. So his recommendation was to do what's called a 302 report, basically saying to him and to them that we want to work with you to get these issues resolved, share with them the timeline, and it won't result in any sanctions at all. So we should know more. We're in the process with the website. He's to get back to us just to complete the forms. We'll keep you apprised. But he was appreciative of the thorough review we had done, or Mr. Bouvier primarily had done, in looking at websites to make sure that they were fully handicap accessible for everybody to access. But wanted to make you aware of that. And then upcoming events, there are lots of things taking place. The Swiss Vex IQ scrimmage will take place this Friday. They've had one earlier this fall. And Marks, as Ryan said, Try 2 is quickly coming to a close. They've got the band concert and art show upcoming, and then report cards will go home on the 16th with a full day of PD on March 12th that Dr. Lozay will report about at our next meeting.
Thank you for that. And before we move on to everyone's favorite part of the evening, Wayne wanted to say something.
Yes, Wayne Page, 90 Old Common Road, for those that don't know. I just want to say how much I appreciate the town when I went out for back surgery, all the cards, the food, the baskets, everything. I mean, it was so tremendous. It was like if I tried to do thank you cards to everybody, I'll be there for 6 months to a year. I mean, it was just so outstanding how this town is treating me through this time. And I want to thank them, the school committee, a lot of the committees in town, a lot of the residents, and I'd like to thank them for all the phone calls and taking the time out just to let me know that they cared while I was out. And I just want to thank you. And I will not be running for school committee this year. I will be running for Board of Selectmen. But I want to kind of let you know a little bit why. I feel very good about the school team that you have, as far as Dr. Mary Ellen, as far as the chief, and all the team players and the principals, the teachers, everybody in the school system. They work so great as a group. And that is one of the reasons why I decided to move on, because I know that our children are in the best hands of any school, as far as I'm concerned, in Massachusetts. And I want to thank you for letting me be here for the time that I was here. And I will never forget the great opportunities with the school committee people that were here before, the school committee that are here now. I just want to thank every one of them. We never, all the time, we didn't always agree. But in the end, it was about our children in the schools that counted, and everybody worked together to make what we have today in Auburn the best in Massachusetts. Thank you.
Oh, very well said, Wayne. I mean, I agree with all of that. It was great working together. And we've still got a few more left, so.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to get
Very good.
now.
I'll be back till the end.
Yes, I'll be back again. I'm not done now. We'll be back for the next few minutes, but it was kind of like being pressure on you that you needed to kind of get it out, how you feel with the people in the school committee and the dean, everybody, you know?
That was very well said. Thank you.
Good luck
Thank
with
you.
your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Cecilia, take it away.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Good evening, everyone. In your packet, I provided a year-to-date budget report for your review. And along with that, I've also provided a list of transfers. The majority are within the series, but there are a few that are between series that I'd like your approval of, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I would entertain the motion to make those transfers.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfers between the series.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote.
Okay. The Auburn Food Service Department of the school department has been awarded a new USDA Specialty Crops Grant titled Growing Good Food Can, C-A-N, Grow Healthy Kids, through the Mass Department of Agricultural Resources and the USDA, and it's in the amount of $34,525. We have been awarded this tremendous grant to continue to pursue our food service strategies, plans to increase student awareness and access to locally grown foods. Our procurement partner for the local specialty crops will be the Worcester Regional Hub. Mrs. King has been working with them to coordinate efforts. With this, we will provide culinary training for our school nutrition staff with the Hub chef. This grant will continue to help us by offering nutrition education for students and teachers in the food systems, school gardens, a student culinary after-school program at Swanson Road, and we will promote the K through 12 classroom agricultural education that support the Mass curriculum frameworks. I'd like to give a shout out to Mrs. King and her team, who've worked really hard on writing this grant so that we could be awarded it, and just wanted to make you aware of that.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, I'd like to present, after discussion with Dr. Bernal and Mr. Fahey, I'd like to recommend that on the fiscal year 2019 CIP, that you approve a transfer of the $25,000 from the food service line in the FY 2019 to the Bryn Mawr building repair line. We'd like to use this additional $25,000 towards helping in the installation of the sprinkler system at Bryn Mawr School. Currently, the food service program is self-supporting, and we feel that we have ample amount to cover the $25,000 equipment purchase through the food service department.
I would entertain that motion.
I make a motion to approve the transfer of $25,000 from the food service line in the FY 2019 CIP to the Bryn Mawr building repair line for the installation of the sprinkler system.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do all the schools now have sprinkler systems? Or does PAC have one?
Through the chair, it does not. So the newest schools, it's required by code.
Yeah.
But the reason for Bryn Mawr, when we added that additional modular, the increased the size, and with that, it sent a requirement forward for that. So Swanson Road does not, and nor does Packagug currently.
Okay. So are they grandfathered in?
They are at this point. And if we were to make any substantial changes or increase in size to them, it could trigger that as well. We're anticipating, and this is a rough estimate, Mr. Fahey will work to get some estimates, that it's going to cost $300,000 or slightly more to sprinkler Bryn Mawr School. So putting this $25,000 will give us just a little bit more of breathing room to do that.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
There's a vote.
Okay, I wanted to also let you know at the Selectmen's meeting on February 12th, the board voted to open the warrant for the May 1st, 2018 annual town meeting. Submission for articles for the warrant will close on Friday, March 2nd. And I have also included in your packet the proposed articles, and they're attached for your approval.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the warrant articles for the annual town meeting on May 1st as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's a vote.
Okay. And lastly, I'd just like to reiterate from the last meeting that we have put out the bus registration for next year. The deadline is June 1st. I checked with Miss O'Connell this morning, and we currently have 125
bus registrations for next year right now, but we're hoping for more. We have a lot more to get, so I just wanted to put that little note out there, just a reminder. But reminders will be going home, through the regular email trail. And so if there's any questions, please feel free to call our office, and we'll help you out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that report.
Question, someone told me the bus registration form has last year's date on it. Can we get that updated? I think it
Okay, I'll
says
take-
2016 on it.
I'll take a look at that. I know that we went through and revised it, but I'll take that and take a look.
Maybe it's one they pulled offline or something, I'm not sure, but.
Okay. I'll take a look at that. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And we do need an executive session?
We do very briefly.
Okay.
Yes, we do very briefly, yes.
I would entertain that motion.
We don't make this. I'll
Right.
make a motion.
Right down at the very bottom of
For-
the agenda,
Oh.
on the actual yellow agenda.
Per MGL Chapter 30, Section 21A, to conduct strategies for negotiations with union and non-union personnel.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We're lost without Gail.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
Mrs. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Scobie?
Yes. Good night, everyone.